Hello everyone, Sharia here, and I'm here to explain to you or how to demo the first big free message, which is the Dual Cook Flex. Bring your customer to the oven, okay, and get them to open the door. Once they open the door, explain to them that there's a dual cook divider shelf inside. This divider shelf will allow them to cook 4 different ways in a single oven. Now our ovens is large capacity anyways, which is 76 litres. This divider shelf will turn it into 2 separate ovens. Now I can cook one thing at the top, a different thing at the bottom, using 2 different timings, 2 different temperatures, without any cross-contamination of flavours or odours. Now the dual cook divider allows me to cook 4 different ways. First way, if I take the divider off, I can cook one large item, so that turkey at Christmas, no problem. With the divider on, I can cook something at the top, something at the bottom, as I mentioned before. And what I can also do is use just the top or just the bottom on its own. And by doing that, I save 25% on energy. So that was the dual cook part of the oven. Now let me flex a bit by showing you the dual cook flex. So again, bring your customer to the oven. And then what you'll do is get them to open the door this time, but not the full door. What you'll do is get them to open half the door by pressing the lever over here. Explain to them that this will allow them access to the top without interfering the cooking at the bottom. Now I could think of loads of different dishes where I need this functionality. One of them being a pudding from up north. Type in the chat dishes that you'd use for dual cook flex. What does it need interference at the bottom? What would you place there? That was a demo when it's not powered on. But if you're fortunate enough to have the oven powered on in your stores, again, it's very simple. It's actually even better. What you can do this time is get them to use the actual panel, the actual display. So bring your customers to the oven one more time, get them to switch it on. Explain to them, by default, they'll notice this flashing. It allows them to select the top cavity or the bottom cavity. And then they can, I'll just select top. I will use convection. I will adjust the temperature and the time as well. It's in minutes. Now if I was to use the bottom part of the oven, what I will do is I will select the bottom now and do exactly the same thing. So I'll select my cooking mode and then adjust the temperature and adjust the timing. Now as you can see, it's in minutes. I've got 2 different times, 2 different temperatures, the oven going on at the top and at the bottom at the same time. And if I wanted to, I can access the top without interfering the cooking or losing the heat at the bottom, which is absolutely brilliant. I'm going to switch this off now because I don't need this running. And tell us in the chat what you think. What questions do you have about the Dual Cook Flex? What would you cook? Let us know. Our next big feature is a natural steam tray. To demonstrate this to your customers, it's very, very simple, whether you have power or you don't. Bring your customer to the oven, get them to open the door, and show them the steam tray that's inside. Explain to them that they will fill this up with water, place it at the bottom of the oven, and show a little symbol over here, which is the steam symbol. With steam cooking, you do need to take the divider out. The steam needs to have full oven capacity, which is great if I'm doing batch baking. Now let us know in the chat what kind of food you'll be cooking using steam. The third big message is pyrolytic cleaning. Pyrolytic cleaning is a self-cleaning function that allows your customers to have 3 different levels to choose from: low, medium or high. But before they do that, what you need to do is explain to your customers by showing them, bring them to the oven and showing them that they need to take everything that's inside the oven out. So we'll take all these out. And it's not just the tray, the dividers, but also the side rails here. Now there's one more thing that your customers will need to do, and it's very important that they do this before they use the pyro settings. It's to do with the glass. Can anyone tell me in the chat what that is? Okay, now with pyro, if your store was to have an oven that's switched on, you could bring your customers to the oven, switch the oven on, show them the cleaning function, which is over here. They'll select that twice. First is for steam, but we want the second setting, which is for pyro. And then they'll see 150 flashing, and then this is where they get to choose low, medium or high. And what pyro will do is it will take the temperatures inside to 500 degrees, literally incinerate everything inside, turn it into ash. They just give it a wipe afterwards. Pyro is safe because the doors will be shut. It won't activate if the doors open, and once it's shut, it locks on, and it will only open when it comes down to a safe temperature. Now, earlier on, I asked that question, what they need to do with the glass. If you said they need to give it a wipe, you are correct. If they don't, and if they were to have grease on there, it will burn on and it will stay on, which you don't want. So that was the big 3 messages on our Series 4 Dual Cook Flex oven. Now I'm going to hand you back to the guys in the studio.